Coming to you from PA Leadership Charter School Studio B in Westchester, Pennsylvania, it's the May 16th edition of The Portal. Today's special guest is USB calculus teacher who has proven that driving is more dangerous than skydiving, Mr. Bert Sommar. And now, here's your host, Mr. Owen Osborne.
Hey, welcome to The Portal. We have an awesome show for you today. Mr. Sommar is here. Let's go to the desk. Let's answer your questions. Let's do it now! Questions from you. Question from Olivia in 7th grade. Mr. O. Osborne. Thank you. Will you ever change the typing challenge sentence? Next year. We'll do it next year. Is that too long of a pause? Nope. Moving on. Mr. Osborne, you should become a mug collector and do that for a living. If you could be anything, what would you be? If I could be anything, first off, I don't think you can be a mug collector can you do that for a living? I mean, that sounds like doing that more for a spending. But if I could be anything, I would be a mug. Because what other than a mug just takes it all, just holds it all together? Next question. Mr. Osborne, do you like jokes? I love jokes. If you do, here's one. I hope that I get the delivery on this one right. What is a bone a dog will never eat? I don't know. A trombone. And I take issue with that because I've seen dogs eat a couple trombones in my marching band days. But moving on. Kashaf has our final question today. And that question is, the PALCS Eagle is a cool kid. Not a question. Mrs. Guerrero is fantastic. Also not a question. Mr. O. Osborne and Mr. G. Osborne are too cool for school. That's true, but it's not a question. You know who else is a pretty awesome person? That's a question. Mr. Sommar. Hashtag Mr. Sommar 2K16. Well, we on The Portal agree Mr. Sommar is awesome, so we're bringing him on. Please welcome Mr. Sommar to The Portal. Hey, welcome to The Portal.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. You brought me a gift.
I did.
Please take a seat.
Thank you.
Let's see. Let's dive in here. Let's see what we got. Oh, okay. This looks like a
It is a grade decider.
teacher's grade decider. Let's see if we can
You
get
don't
this
need to
working
use
here.
Moodle to figure out the grades anymore.
And I got an A, so I can't complain about that. And what else have you got?
I got you a copy of the 2014 AMC 10B.
The AMC 10B. Now, most of you will know absolutely nothing about this, like me. What is this? What is the AMC 10B?
It is America's oldest math and most prestigious math contest.
Wow.
And it's geared towards 10th graders, so I've got a few problems for you there.
It's geared towards 10th graders, you say?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to put that away for now. So, welcome to The Portal.
Thank you.
How long have you been teaching here at PALCS?
I joined PALCS in 2005.
Okay, so a little while you've been here.
Yeah.
Check this out. Actually, that's longer than I've been here, so you've been here quite some time. What courses do you specifically teach here at PALCS?
I teach honors pre-calculus with trigonometry,
Okay.
AP Calculus AB, AP Calculus BC, multivariable calculus, and AP Statistics.
Oh, hang on. How many kinds of calculus? What is calculus? What even is calculus? I can't do any calculus.
I bet you can do some
You bet
calculus.
I can do some calculus?
But calculus is the mathematics of change.
Mathematics of change.
In algebra, you learned a lot about like lines and slope-intercept form and all that, and it was great and it was wonderful, and you got to solve for x, and that was pretty exciting. But in the real world, there's curves and there's change and things are moving around, and you really need calculus to describe all that.
That is the best I've ever heard calculus described, to myself anyway. I was always good at geometry. I was one of those kids who was like, algebra, okay, geometry, all of a sudden straight A's. And then were pre-calculus, I don't know about that, and then went to college.
Yeah, geometry was pretty cool. I really enjoyed my time in geometry.
Geometry is a really interesting subject. So what do you love about teaching at PALCS? What really excites you?
I just love being able to teach a subject that I'm very passionate about and have students who share my passion and are very excited to learn.
Very cool. So when you find those students that are like just as raring to go about math or like about calculus or something, not completely confused like I am.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah, that is a cool thing, for sure. We're going to move on to 3 questions. Here we go. What is something the students would be surprised to learn about you?
Many students would be surprised to learn exactly how far I go for mathematics.
How far do you go for mathematics?
Well, I happen to have a tattoo of a geometric proof of the Pythagorean theorem.
That's pretty far. Now that's, if I remember correctly, that's Pythagorean. I think I learned that in geometry.
I think you did.
And I think it's a squared plus b squared equals c squared.
Yep, and I can prove it.
And you can prove it. Well, we won't ask you to prove it. That's
okay.
All right, don't worry about that. When is the last time you used math in real life?
Last time I used math in real life, probably this morning when I was trying to figure out when I needed to leave and when I needed to get the kids up to get to work on time. I had to think about the traffic and what we were doing and how tired I thought my kids would be and how hard it would be to get them out of bed. It's a pretty complicated equation.
So when's the last time you used calculus in real life?
Calculus in real life. I almost do it without thinking about it. I think a lot of the way that things are, it's just the solution to some kind of a calculus problem.
Yeah.
I always say to my students that you can be sure if there's a problem in the book about baseball, coffee, or animals doing calculus, I'm going to assign it. And you would be surprised.
Do animals do a lot of calculus?
Animals do a lot of calculus.
Right.
If you follow me on Twitter at the Dr. Calc, you will find at least one time a year I try to make hashtag animals doing calculus trend by retweeting articles about worms doing calculus to find food, about dogs doing calculus to figure out where they go in the water to get a ball that was thrown in there, where birds choose nesting sites, and how bees build their hives.
Well, you've gained one more follower.
Excellent.
And one more man for the cause, because hashtag animals doing calculus is amazing. We got another question. What do we have? Another question here. Most dangerous thing you've done. What's the most dangerous thing you've done?
Well, as an AP statistics teacher, I am very cognizant of the danger of driving.
Oh.
And as that's sort of a daily activity, I think that may be
dangerous.
up there.
Yeah, it's pretty dangerous.
But probably the less nerdy answer might be that while I was rafting the Colorado River through the Grand Canyon,
awesome.
There was a rocky outcrop about 50 feet up, and the water was a little deep there, and I went up there and jumped 50 feet into the Colorado River off the side of the Grand Canyon.
Well, I have to drive every day to work. I don't have to jump a 50-foot canyon every day to get to work, luckily. So that impresses me. That is pretty dangerous. That is insane. We are going to move on to our typing challenge. You took our typing challenge earlier, right?
I did.
How'd you feel about that?
It was pretty weird.
It's pretty weird.
I couldn't even figure out where Jay was.
Yeah, that one, sometimes I think it leaves while you're taking the test. Anyway, what we do, we scramble all the keys on this computer, our typing challenge, and then we don't let anybody see it. Nobody can see it until you take the typing challenge, and then you have to type a phrase, basically learning how to type for the first time on this keyboard. So let's see how you did. Let's take a look at the footage. We're gonna roll clip. So what was the first thing that went through your head? You saw that keyboard.
Where did this computer come from?
Where did this computer come from?
And what year is it?
It came from a lonely corner in the warehouse. I can attest to that because I think I found it there like 7 years ago. Anyway, you're talking about calculus being the math of change. Everything's changed now. The entire game has changed.
Yeah.
So did this keyboard really throw you off?
It did. Once I found shift and space, I kind of clung to them.
Okay. Yeah, those are your. That's home base right there.
Yeah.
Shift and space, same spot. All right, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and. All right, we are back, and we have tallied your score, and you got a 51, which is actually a very, very good score. It actually ties last week's score with Mrs. Testerman. So I believe you are tied for 5th place with Mrs. Testerman.
Okay.
So there's going to have to be a tie break at some point in the not too distant future, right? You up for
Yes,
it? You up for
definitely.
it? All right.
I will win.
I'm up for it. Oh, okay. You hear that? You hear that, Testerman? All right. Thank you so much for coming on the portal today.
Thank you for having me.
Really enjoyed having you.
Thank you.
And thank all of you for watching. And we'll see you next week on the portal.